Hey folks, my name is Pravus, and welcome to one of the most unusual and interesting ideas for a game that I have seen in a while. This is Erenshor, a simulation of an MMORPG experience, so a game of a game, if that makes any sense. And by MMORPG, what they really mean are the old-school Vanguard MMOs that became mainstream like EverQuest, the kind of stuff you played as a 90s kid like me, and I'm all for it. Now, because the idea of this game is so unusual, I really wanted to make a video about this. I'll be using a demo that is currently available on Steam, and if you guys want to try it out for yourself, I will include a link in the description down below. As you watch this video, though, I want you to evaluate this from a couple of different angles, because this game really does have a dual identity. On one hand, it actually has to play like a proper MMO, which means all of the questing and looting and skilling that you would expect from most similar games. But also from the second angle, you need to look at it as a simulation of the vastness and the social experience you would get out of an MMO. And that's the harder part to copy, I think, so we'll see how well they pull that off. Let's go ahead and enter the world. Real quick, the secure login portal, totally unnecessary, it's fake. It just exists to kind of enhance the simulation, like a proper MMO. Now, I've already played through the demo completely on one character. Let's go ahead and start a new one. I'm going to make a female paladin. And I hadn't really planned on using the skin tone, but then I kind of thought it'd be kind of fun to play like a dark elf from EverQuest, right? So let's just go ahead and make that. Yeah, kind of like this. Okay, and we'll name you Helene. And welcome to Erenshor. Well, sort of, kind of. We're actually not in Erenshor right now. That is a continent that is blocked from us for the time being. We are on Tutorial Island, also known as Stowaway's Step. Now, running forward, if you want to interact with different characters, like this customs guard, what you do is click on the character and hit the H key to hail them. And this works exactly the same way as it would in EverQuest. You had to do that as well. Sometimes you'd see little keywords in the dialogue box down here in the bottom left, and if you click on that, they can continue the dialogue in some way, or you could actually just like type it out yourself if you wanted to, like that, in order to get different keyword prompts and responses. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and run over to the office and turn in my registration to announce that we have arrived on the island. If the system seems a little bit weird, it's because it is kind of an old school way of doing things, but again, this game seems to be very heavily inspired by EverQuest, so it actually is a faithful recreation in many different ways. Now, let's go ahead and open our inventory and drop off the dock pass and give it to this guy, again, just like you would in EverQuest, and that completes the quest. We can also equip an item, get some pants so we aren't shamed as we walk around, and now we have to go up here to this gate where I'm not going to be allowed to go through because first we have to talk to this corporal and he's going to say, "Hey, what do you want?" I'm going to say, "I want through the door." He doesn't respond because I'm not saying the right thing or the right keyword. Instead, if I had looked at the quest in the dialogue from the previous character, he says to talk that you're registered. So I'm just going to simply say, "I'm registered." Oh, that continues the quest. But actually, he wants me to go and get my own key and deal with something. What problem does he have? Well, there's a guy down at the lighthouse who's gone kind of nutty. He has deportation papers, go and deliver them, and get his key. No problem. Well, on the way, we can see that we have an aura gem merchant over here. This is going to give us the option of getting an aura for our character, which buffs up ourself and our party. If I were to hover over this with my right mouse button, we actually can see exactly what this is going to do. In this case, I'd like to get the strength, endurance, and resistance, so I will purchase this, and then equip it to my character so I can boost up a few of my stats. Nice. There's another person down over here that I can interact with if I hail Alice right here. Looks like a crocodile ate a necklace down by the lighthouse. Okay, we can take that as another quest. And interacting with the different characters in this game does make a bit of sense. We can learn, for example, that this is a really good fishing spot for a different quest, stuff like that. There's also a less than savory character right over here, Percy. He says, "What do you want?" "I want to go to Erenshor." And, misspelled that. There we go. And he responds, "You want to go?" "Oh, okay, gotta do me a favor." "What favor?" He says he wants some sea spice. Interesting, by the way, that they don't necessarily handhold you as far as getting some of those quests. You just gotta try a little bit. Now, here's our crocodile enemy. We're gonna have to fight this guy. So all we have to do is simply run forward and hit Q to auto-attack. We're a paladin. We don't have any major spells right now. If we were playing as, let's say, an arcanist, we'd be putting some spells on our hotbar and attacking that way. Here's our necklace. The corpse always drops something, usually a bit of money, sometimes some items, so we'll go ahead and grab that. And then here is this Kyo character. If we talk to him, yeah, he's going a little bit nuts. When you stare at the sea too long, it can start to peer back. It's full of eyes. Tell you what, here's your deportation papers. You happy? Yes, he is. He really wants to leave this place, so this is a good thing for him. Cool. Now, if I wanted to get some more spells and stuff, we can do that. There are some skill books for martial characters and spell books for your spellcasting characters. So if I right-click on this, we've now learned the kick ability. And if I go to my spells and skills, we can see this here, and I'm just going to simply drag this down to a hotbar so we can use this to interrupt enemy spells if we need to. Also drop off a necklace, she's happy, and now I'm level 2, which gets me a belt, which I will wear, and that boosts my stats just a tiny bit more. All right, now that we have the key, I can just walk on through this door, and that kind of leaves the very starting zone. In just a moment, we're going to start interacting with some other characters. I'm gonna go ahead and kill this skeleton first real quick, though. Rattlewrists isn't exactly a threat, but he needs to die because he's a godless killing machine. And here's some boots and a few other things, and some loot that we will be able to sell in just a minute. So already you kind of get a sense, a little bit of kind of the world and how it's kind of built out, spread out, lots of different NPCs, enemies, and stuff like that. Very much what you would expect from an MMO experience. Hello, another character. Now, obviously, this is not an actual person. This is an NPC who is pretending to be another person. If we were to, well, I was going to take a look at her and see if we could invite her to my party. Get back here! Fine, what about this guy instead over here? Fanti? Who are you? You're an arcanist. Tell you what, Fanti, would you like to join my team? He would. So now he has joined my party. We did that by inviting people over in the top left. Actually, you know what? Jethro's level 5, you're level 2. Get out of here, Fanti. Go level up some more. Jethro's sticking around. So, in the original EverQuest, you really wanted to group up pretty much at all times. The game would take a lot longer to play if you did not. So, in this case, finding other characters that you can add to your party, they'll always accept. It's always worth doing, otherwise trying to solo this game is probably going to be putting yourself in a bit of a bind for no reason. And over here, we do have ourselves a merchant who could sell me some more stuff. I could buy myself a spell, but I'm not level 3 yet, so we're not going to worry about that. Could also talk to him, and we can learn that there is some sort of a weird ritual happening. I wonder what that could possibly mean. Who knows? Let's go kill a spider. I can tell my team member to go ahead and attack, which he will do. He's the range character, the glass cannon, and I am the paladin, which means I run forward and try to draw the aggro, as a proper tank would. And then we can go ahead and loot their corpses, collect anything worth selling. You get the gist. Now, it is kind of weird seeing NPCs just kind of running around the world like this. Like, I know that they're NPCs, but yeah, that's kind of what I would expect to see in a proper MMO. Hey, look, a little village. We can also set our spawn point here in this well, which we will. And then go talking to a few different people, see if we can't find any more quests. Or maybe we can find this forge over here. There is a rudimentary crafting system in this game. Drop off some fuel, get a mold and a few different items, and then boom, you can craft something. Look at this. Fanti just whispered me, again, an NPC, saying you want to group up again today. See, there you go. I actually wonder, can I, like, whisper Fanti, no thanks? Does he respond? No, he doesn't. Okay. There are some different trade options and stuff. What? What? You don't want to pair up with me? Seriously, kind of funny and uncanny how that works, right? Another merchant over here. I'm going to buy myself a pickaxe, so I will be able... Oh, I don't have enough money. Hold on, let's sell these bones first, then buy a pickaxe so I can start gathering materials. Could also find a few more skill books. Kick, dodge, blood feast, shield bash, minor healing, and some molds. Yeah, all useful stuff. What we should do is just go ahead and start fighting as many animals and stuff as we can, get ourselves some XP, take advantage of the fact that we have this big team. Loot their corpses, and so on. Again, this is just exactly what you would do in a normal tutorial island. We're just pretending that we have friends. And here's some minerals. Okay, let's go ahead and equip this. I don't know if there's supposed to be a double-click option to quickly equip things. I feel like there should be. We'll go ahead and mine up some of these minerals. We get a basic rock. That's boring. Sometimes you'll find some copper, some coal. Sometimes you'll find some iron. All things you're going to need for crafting. Let's see, over here we find a character who needs a lucky coin. The Daggerheart Ancestral Coin. Stolen by some bandits. I know where they are. And on the way there, we find there is this weird ritual happening here. If I were to talk to these people... Be gone, he says. Okay, this person says, have you found the... Hey, you're not Wyland, don't disturb us. And that starts up another quest. Well, let's get down over here to this cave where I know the bandits are currently present. Now, I normally would tell people to go and attack, but since I'm the tank, I should just go run in and start pulling all of the mobs, right? Which gets me some loot, some minor healing scrolls, all nice stuff. Oh, and of course, more minerals. And now we just kind of progress in this area, collect some XP and some loot. So, right off the bat, I'd say that this is kind of checking off a lot of the boxes for what I would expect if I were playing in a proper MMO, right? Just run in, start face-planting your way into a bunch of different enemies. You gotta have your tanky characters up front and your squishy characters in the back. So already I'd say this kind of checks off a few boxes, wouldn't you say? Finally finding a little bit more gear. Okay, now we're properly geared out in some leather, and here's a major character. If we take this guy down, I imagine we are going to find that coin that we are looking for. Yep, there it is, the Daggerheart Ancestral Coin. Okay, I can sell a bunch of loot that I no longer need. I'm going to go ahead and buy myself a shield, because that just makes sense. There we go. Now I am a little bit tankier. Now, you can give loot to all of your party members. So if I were to right-click on this guy here, for example, I can see what he's currently wielding, which is not exactly much. But give them enough gear, and your party members actually do get stronger. I assume, based on the fact that we saw a character saying, hey, you want to team up again, that the game probably remembers what loot and experience level they've got. So if you actually build up some quote-unquote friends in this game, I would imagine you can group up with them in the future, and it's worth investing in a handful of different people. They also do gain experience and can level up too, so the longer you play with them, they kind of scale up with you. Let's go ahead and drop off this coin with this guy, give him the item. I am now level 3. Beautiful. Which means I might be able to group up with some slightly tougher people now. Get rid of Sparkles, invite Dancer, there we go. So now I am the Paladin, I've got a Druid, an Arcanist, and a Duelist in the group, which means we're getting all 4 of these auras. That is kind of ideal. You really would like to have everyone on your team. And with a full group, we could take on some different challenges. For example, there's a super boss monster over there. Not going to fight him right now, rather get to level 4 first. Seems like we need to do a little bit of farming. So we'll head down to this area, and oh look, a whole bunch of wandering mobs. Wolves, bears, skeletons, the classics. And I'll happily kill everything that moves if it gets me that juicy XP. Oh, and actually I shouldn't forget, now that I am level 3, we should be able to get a couple of things. We can't learn Block yet, but I can learn Lunar Madness as a new spell. What is this gonna do? Taunt an enemy. Sure, makes sense. I am the tank after all. Not a very good tank, but I am one. Oh, and what have we found here? A strange graveyard leading into a crypt. This leads you into your first dungeon. Again, exactly like you would expect in a thing like EverQuest. Everyone as a group enters into this new area, and then, well, we're ready to fight a whole bunch of much tougher enemies. And we'll be spending a fair bit of time down here, to be honest. There's a lot of stuff to kill. But taking this kind of content on solo would have been absolutely insane. So that's one more reason you really need to form groups in this game. Now, one thing I'd be interested in seeing in the future is just how deep the simulation really will end up going as this game continues to develop. So right now, I mean, these guys are basically just pets, let's be honest. They run around and do exactly what I tell them to. You can give them loot, but if they don't get it, they don't get all mad and stuff like that, right? It'd be interesting to see if in the future with this game, you can have things where like your characters will be like, hey, I gotta go in 5 minutes after our next, I've never seen this before, after our next group or poll or something like that, right? Or you don't give people loot for long enough and they're like, you know what, this group is a waste of my time, I'm out, right? That'd be kind of cool. I mean, frustrating, but at least it would be an accurate representation of the real MMO experience. And I think that's where this game is gonna have to make a decision. How much of it is really just trying to be a solo MMORPG experience, right? And then how much of it is going to be an accurate simulation? And I can't really answer that question, but it'll be very interesting to see what happens, especially as this game gets bigger. Like, what happens when this game wants to start replicating raids and stuff like that, right? How is that going to work? What about late-game guilds and so on, right? I mean, everyone else appears to be in some sort of a guild. So, you know, I mean, they're all in the same... You're all in the same guild? Invite me! Whatever, it's fine. I didn't want to be in your group anyway. Let's go ahead and get myself a ring. Cool. That gets me a little bit of extra stats. Oop, new enemies. Enraged spirits. I'm going to keep taunting enemies and trust that my buddies are going to be able to heal me. That's kind of important. They're not doing a great job of it, for the record, but, you know, I mean, we can only do our best. I'm the tank. You either heal me or you don't. Now, out of curiosity, just because I wanted to do a contrast for this game, I did actually download the original EverQuest and create a character just to make this video, so I can just kind of see. How accurate is this game to the original MMO and how that all worked? And the answer is pretty darn accurate, actually. I mean, as you can see from the video here, it's a little bit choppy and kind of old school, right? You know, EverQuest 1 is from 1999, so it's definitely an old style of game. But does it feel exactly the same as what you're seeing in this? Yeah, absolutely. Ooh, we found some Etheria over here. This is a rare element I'm going to need for crafting later, so I'm happy to get that. What is this? A failed cremation? Let's go kill it. Should be able to deal with this. As long as my healer's on top of it, we're gonna be fine. There we go, that goes down. Coal, sea glass, no rare loot there. There we go, I am now level 4 over here. Okay, that's great. Should mean we can learn block now, right? No, I need to be level, what, 5? 15? Gonna be level 15 to learn how to block things? Oh, that sucks. We're not getting that in this demo. I'm telling you that right now. Again, the demo is really intended to get up to like level, I don't know, 6 at most. Not really any higher than that. You can, but like, why? Whatever, it's fine. Look at this, by the way. You can see here that people are asking for some loot, because I did just get an extra ring. So once you've kind of decked yourself out, that's when the other characters are like, hey, can I has? So if I were to take a look at, let's say, Jethro over here, he could really use this. So I'm going to go ahead and give him this ring, and he should immediately equip it, and his stats go up. So now he's more valuable. Kind of cool that you can invest in your party like that, right? There's another ring. Guarantee somebody's about to ask for it. Dancer, how about we just go ahead and preemptively give it to you? There we go. Now she's a little stronger too. Anyway, we're stacked with loot, so let's just go ahead and leave the dungeon. We are going to tell everyone to follow and ignore the rest of the monsters. Let's go sell our stuff. We're now loaded with some cash, which is great. And we should be able to get the dodge skill book as well, so let's buy that. That's going to get me an upgrade. And that is a passive skill, no need to add that onto my hotbar. Okay, so with all of that, do we think we could take on the world boss that we saw earlier? We can certainly try, but it really depends on... Oh, here he comes. It really depends on just how on top of it my healer's going to be. And the Arcanist should be able to restore the healer's mana, so as long as you guys stay on that, we're going to be okay. You're getting me a little close, though, for comfort, guys. Don't let me die. They're going to... and I'm dead. Okay. Well, we'll just go ahead and call that a wipe. Never let your tank die, guys. Never. What's a shame is they've actually almost got him down. I mean, if Dancer can go a little faster... Oh, there we go. Didn't wipe, actually. Well done, Dancer. Okay, everyone just go ahead and revive. Thank you. What do we get? A lot of stuff. Gimme. I will take the breastplate for my own. Thank you. I am the paladin after all. I'd like to learn how to do minor healing. That's a new skill for me. We also got an important mold, the ghostly key, which I need etheria, iron, and also a broken key blade and bow in order to craft. Well, we don't have those yet, so I know where I need to go. Let's head back down to the dungeon. And we're back in the island tomb. Okay, now I've actually done this demo before, so I know roughly where to go. Normally you'd spend a fair bit of time just kind of running around here hunting, looking for certain rare bosses. In my case, I know I want to go this way, so a little bit of a different path. Yes, this is the room that I was looking for. Let's go ahead and taunt this guy over here. Whoa, is in the back. Whoa, man. Whoa! As you would expect in a normal MMO, we're going to try to clear out the trash first without pulling the boss. Unfortunately, your allies are usually smart enough not to accidentally pull mobs you don't want. And then in we go. Now I'll just go ahead and interrupt this guy's spell, make sure he's taunted toward me, and we'll burn him down. Now this guy should have at least one of the items I need in order to forge the key. There it is. The other one should be down here somewhere as well. I think if I take a right... No, go straight ahead over here. This is it. There he is. Morning. I need to get you. There's a little on the tankier side. I'm going to go ahead and start preemptively casting some minor healing on myself while I just tank all of the hits. That's my job. And there's the bow. Okay, we are done with this area. Let's go ahead and get back out of here. Now, one thing that I think this game is going to have to be careful not to do is overplay its hand a little bit when it comes to the simulation of the social aspect of this game, right? Just a little bit. Like, case in point, I mean, I just gave a ring to Sindara, and what did she do? Whisper me, loot, right? I don't know about your experience with MMOs and stuff. Generally speaking, whether I was playing EverQuest 1 or 2, Ultima Online, City of Heroes, World of Warcraft, it doesn't matter. People usually talked in full sentences. You know where they didn't? RuneScape, because it was populated by 12-year-olds. So I think the game's going to have to walk kind of a fine balance between what is believable, realistic dialogue without going too deep, and also not falling into a bunch of internet tropes. Still, at some point, I mean, yeah, you're still playing just a solo MMO. It doesn't have to be that realistic, really. I might be a little bit nitpicky here. Anyways, alright, so we need to go craft a key, right, before we go back into the dungeon, so let's do that next. Go to the forge, place in the mold, place in a little fuel. We needed some iron, some etheria, the blade and the bow combine. Boom, we get the ghostly key. And actually, since I have done a little bit of exploring previously when I played this demo, I know that there is a back door into this dungeon. Hidden right down over here, I think, along this cliff edge. Yep, there we go. That is the cave I was looking for. It's a little dark, isn't it? There we go. Oh no, it's populated by bears! Kill them all. And I will say, from just kind of copying the MMO experience, I do think that Erenshor so far has this down pat. This very much checks off all of the boxes of, you know, just killing lots of mobs, exploring dungeons, looting, getting levels, and so on. Like, it ticks off all the boxes. Right, I've played a lot of MMOs in my time. In fact, there was a time when this channel was first getting started, I kind of thought it was going to be a MMO-themed channel. That was the intention. Now, I'm glad I didn't do that, because that would have been a terrible business model, and I would have had to invest thousands of hours in order to make any amount of progress anywhere, but, you know, there we go. All right, so here's the backdoor entrance I was looking for. Wyland's Ghost is right here. Let's go ahead and take this sucker down. There we go. And we get ourselves a Ring of Magic Bolt, some Sea Spice, a Torn Note, and a bunch of other things. Well, that's all I wanted. Let's go ahead and get out of here. Now, I have to say, I think that Erenshor has done a really good job of recapturing kind of the MMO feel, right? You know, hunting down mobs, completing quests, getting loot, leveling up, grouping with people. Yeah, it feels about right. I think they did a really good job here. The real question is, how long can it last, right? Because from what we see in the map, there is a ton more content that is going to be added as this game continues its development. And the thing is, I know that there are a lot of people who do play MMOs as a solo player. They don't really feel bold enough or comfortable playing with other people. They just kind of like the loot and the grind. So if that's what you're looking for, I don't know, Erenshor might be able to scratch that itch very nicely. We will have to see as it continues to develop. Anyway, hey, Percy Idla, I am bringing you some Sea Spice. You said you had a way off of this island, right? There we go. Take this note to the captain on the dock who's getting ready to leave. She owes you a favor. Nice doing business with you. Alrighty. Hello, Captain. I hear you're willing to smuggle me. Let's go ahead and give her the rolled notes. What's this? Haha, he's out of his mind. I don't know him a thing. Sorry, pal, no can do. Well, that's a quest done, but it didn't get me off the island. Fine, I have another pot on the stove, so to speak. Let's go to that ritual site. There we go. Now, these guys still don't want to talk to me, but if I read the torn note, it says, speak the word Hawthorne to one of the brothers if I need assistance. So I'm just going to come up here, and I'm going to say, Hawthorne. Hello? Hawthorne? Revan says, go away. No, you don't understand. Hawthorne. Wait, what did you just say? You need to talk to Lucian right now. All right, let's just go ahead and give him the torn note. You found the Spectre of Wyland. Thankfully, you put it to rest. We are in your debt. If you want passage off the island, come with us. Leap off the rocks under the statue of Vithio, which I believe is this character right over here, and then swim to the sandbar. Well, sounds good to me. Let's go ahead and dismiss my party. I no longer need their help. We're getting off a tutorial island. Geronimo! Probably a really stupid plan, but there we go. All right, and there's the sandbar, and there's somebody waiting for me. Hail, Chance Barlow. He says you're willing to go along? Okay, cool. Are you ready to go? I am indeed. Hop onto one of the boats, and that would end the demo. So, we can't do anything else from here. That just kind of ends things, but it gives you a good idea what Erenshor is going to be like. I think this is a really, really interesting idea. Now, it does sort of beg the question of, like, who this game is really intended to appeal to. Is it really meant for simulators who just kind of want all of the hilarious inside jokes of longtime MMO players, in which case the simulator aspect is going to be fun? And then you really have to ask the question of, are they going to commit to this? Again, like I said, having people are like, in 5 minutes, I have to leave. And then they actually do. Can you put together friend groups and have an invite list, right? Do you have raiding parties? Are certain people only on certain days of the week? Will people get mad if you are a bad loot master? These are all things you experience in a proper MMO. I'd love to see that translated here. Or is this game going to focus mostly on just scratching the itch for the solo MMORPG players, the people who are usually too scared to group, but in this game, there's no excuse not to. In fact, you'd be a fool not to. You might as well just go ahead and put together a group and then just go loot and grind to your heart's content. In which case, hey, that is also completely valid. It's just so unique and interesting, you know? And that's kind of why I wanted to make a video on this. Again, if you want to try the demo out for yourself, there will be a link in the description down below, and apparently more content is going to get added to this demo as the game continues to develop, so it's going to keep expanding. I know that I'll be keeping an eye on Erenshor with keen interest. If you guys enjoyed this video, of course, I would ask you to hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe, make sure you hit that notify bell, and I will see you guys next time.